I'm excited about today because today is the day that I put the hood on the car for the final time.
Garage time.
As we go through the list of things to do before my first drive, you see there's a lot of items on here, and on the very, very bottom is on the body section, install the hood. That's what I'm doing today, but the thing that excites me also is that all these fuel items that haven't even been touched yet have really been waiting on the hood to get installed. I think it might be easier to install the hood or less risky to install the hood without the fuel tank in place. In fact, I saw Mike's Restorations do this, and he was able to crawl underneath there and put the screws in, which I think is the right, correct, smart thing to do. So I'm going to do that too. The nice other thing I have is the car's on the lift, so it'll be easier to crawl underneath there and put the screws in once the hood is sitting on top. The other thing that was preventing me from installing the hood was this hinge. One of these hinges had some scratches and fisheye in it when I was painting a long time ago. So I ended up earlier this week going back and re-sanding and re-shooting the yellow on this hinge. In fact, I also did some other parts like the headlight rings. If you look closely on these hinges, there's two little alignment holes. Now these aren't very authentic, but it will help tremendously on realigning the hood relative to the body, the hinges to the body, and all those things that I spent so much time aligning. All this stuff should just fall into place. Fingers crossed. I mean, a lot could go wrong today, but I'm still excited. Okay, the first thing to do is just put the hinges back where they were. And I did actually paint the bolts yellow, although for the first round, I'm gonna leave them just regular bolts so I don't scratch them. And then once everything is finally fitted to the car, including the fenders, I might go back and do some small adjustments. When it's all said and done, I'll put the painted bolts in. Step two would be to get the seal put back in place. This was mocked up a long time ago when I was doing all the trial fitments and alignments of the hood and the fenders. So this piece is critical in getting a good fit between the hood and the body. And this is a reproduction seal from URO. And I found it really nice and soft. Right now it's just got a lot of primer dust on it. It's got a little bit of primer overspray on it, so I'm just gonna take it to the sink with some soap and water. I do have my own garage sink, so that's one of the secrets to not getting in trouble. Usually in the paint and body phase, you typically will destroy a set of seals just getting it lined up. I think I'll put this out in the sun for a little while, get all the water out of it. So in the sink, I used a little bit of, I have a pumice stone I use to wash my hands. And so some of the spots that had some primer on it, I just rubbed a little bit of soap and pumice stone on it. And I think most of the overspray came off. Most of it was epoxy primer, which sticks to just about everything. So it's a little tricky. See, there's a little spot right here that I might have missed. So this kind of stuff can come off later. This is where I've been hiding the hood for the last several months. It's been risky leaving it here because all the grinding and cutting and stuff, this has just been covered by this kind of bedspread thing. And so I'm really happy to get it on the car. I think it's going to be safer on the car than it will be here on the wall. This made it through a few earthquakes.
Yeah. I only felt the one.
This probably rattled around a little bit. This is still tied on, so just try not to trip on the cord. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Just go a little higher. Okay, it's unhooked, so now we can just walk. Do you want to walk backwards or do you want me to walk backwards?
I'll walk backwards.
All right. It's good. Okay, you're stepping on top of it just fine. Just walk right over it. And just like that. Cool. I'm going to get the seal put in, the rubber thing, and then I'll need you to help put it back on the car.
All right, right now? Or?
No, and then we'll put the bolts in after we get the hood seal all in place.
All right.
Yep, so see you later. The hood seal's right there, see it? This was hanging by, mostly by this right here. This bracket goes to where the mounting locations are on either side and just welded that hole onto it. This was kind of a safety rope that wasn't really doing anything. So now I gotta take off this bracket from the underside and then get ready to put it on the car. Okay, this seal is really holding itself in place. There's no glue, no strange modifications to it. It just basically fits pretty well. It's a little lumpy here on the bottom, so I'm gonna leave it without glue. I can always add glue later. And then just a little bit of tape here where the fender is not present to help hold it in place. If you look how it fits along the cowl, it has a nice little lip right here which blends in perfectly. That part I like a lot. And I had just touched up some paint along this strip right here because I had some chipping or some flaking there. So I took care of that this week, and now it's pretty much ready to have the hood plopped on it. And I'm gonna get some towels up there on the cowl just to make sure we don't scratch anything. So I'm going to be on the driver's side. That's this side. Do you wanna put your gloves back on or no?
Sure. So how are we holding it?
We're gonna pick it up like right here.
Okay.
You can feel underneath. There's like a ridge, just hold it by the ridge. And then turn, turn, turn.
That's just long.
You're always going backwards. Okay, go over. Just keep walking around until that tire's right by your legs. Okay, not too close. Just let it touch down on the...
In the right spot?
Yep. Okay, let it go down a little more.
Holding it by the front now.
Okay, shift your corner back just a tad so it touches the towel. Okay, that's good. Okay, don't let it slide.
I got it. I got it.
I'm trying to get the clasp to click, so let me see if I can click it. Go stand on that corner over there and make sure it doesn't hit the... Oh, I put the latch on backwards.
Oh.
That's all right. Okay, so now you're just going to be here in the front and make sure it doesn't slip off.
Okay.
And then
while you go up.
I'm gonna lift it. So as it's lifting, just make sure it doesn't slide forward.
All right.
It's gonna vibrate and do a little crazy stuff. So just stand here with 2 hands. Yeah, super strong. The lift's gonna hit its eyes right there. See the eyes?
Are they drying right now?
They're already dry, but I painted them this week. Okay, so stay right there. I'm going in the hole. Oy. No, those are the original holes, but I converted this hood to like a long hood, like a different car.
You extended it?
Yeah. That part you're holding onto has been extended.
Have you extended it and welded it?
Yep. You can let go.
All right.
And then can you look for the 13mm socket? Look on the, see on that stool, there's the wrench.
Yeah.
So I need the wrench, the extension, and the 13. The 13 might be in the drawer, I don't know.
It's right here. I think this is it. Oh, this is a 10.
Yeah, so take that one off.
Oh, wait. The 13's on the wrench, I think.
Oh, okay. Just pop it off and put that extension in, then put it back. Cool, thank you. All right, it's in.
All right. Cool.
So hang on before you go. Let's try to lift it up and see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. So I might have to like loosen this fender a little bit because this fender might be too tight. See how it's almost touching right here? That's way too tight. So
Why isn't the other fender on? I always wondered that.
I got to paint the other side black.
Oh. Should I try lifting it up?
No, it's too tight. So I'm gonna do some other stuff on the fender first.
Do you still need me?
No, I think I'm good for now.
Do you want these gloves or do you want to just throw them away?
Just take them. Cool, thank you. Okay, the bolts are tight underneath where the hinges are. This side is looking pretty tight. I know I had some tight gaps. That's probably a little too tight. So I need to go underneath and adjust it. Now there are some alignment pins underneath there, but I was unable to do the alignment underneath there. This side here with the fender, it's not closed because I put the latch on backwards. This side here is looking really tight. So this towel is pretty much, you know, it's moving, but not very well. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is put the washer back in. This is not the long-term spacer I'm going to use in there. I'll make a nice square spacer, but just to get things aligned again, I'm going to go with what I had in the past. The purpose of that washer is to control the height of the hood relative to the cowl. It makes a big difference. Okay, those holes are lined up. Now I'm also going to shim this fender away just to be extra safe. This fender is only held on when I towed it home from the paint booth. So this is not aligned. It's really just here being stored on here. I'm gonna have to pull it off and go through all the gasketing and all the bolt fastening. So this is safer just to move it away. Here are just some of the shims I took out of this side. A lot of this is gonna get replaced with a butyl gasket, but for the purpose of getting the hood closed, I'm gonna use what I started with, and then I'll replace it when it comes time to finally mounting the fender. Just want to prevent any major binding right here. Okay, way better. This looks pretty good, actually. No. The latch is trying to push it this way. It won't close. So it's not even closed yet, but you can start to see how the alignment is taking shape. This was really my first iteration. It's a little tighter on the far side, the passenger side. This side right here might need a little bit more of a shim too. It's a little bit low right here. I don't even know if you can tell. It was easiest to adjust this latch from the gas tank area. So I still have the pole right here. So I can unlatch it. Oh, here it is. And open it up. So now this is good. I need to get the rubber bumpers that go on the corners before I slam it too hard. Those little rubber stoppers here for the front corners are not where I put them. So it means they're lost. And so I'm gonna change the washer on the driver's corner hinge. I think I put the wrong washer in. This is I think an M8 washer, and I should have used an M10. Slightly thicker, this should do the job. Yep, that's the one. Okay, I'm pretty excited. That's it. It's finally in its position. I got the heights adjusted. I got the gaps adjusted, at least between the hood and the cowl. I can adjust this fender gap just a little bit more when I attach the fender for the final time. Right now, it's probably a little too skinny, but man, it looks pretty nice. There's the elevation height on that gap right there. I did put the bigger washer in, seemed to do the trick. Other side is nice and even as well. So things went well. Really happy with the way the hood fits, and just one more thing to check off the list. You know, I made a video a long time ago about build quality. I'll put a link right here, but this is the type of thing that I was thinking about, 2 years ago, or however long it was been. It's probably been 2 years now. Getting the gaps and the fitment and the just overall appearance of the car with high build quality has always been important to me. And this kind of result doesn't come from fiddling around with it. Today was pretty painless in terms of adjusting it. All that work was done 2 years ago. Install hood, off the list.